All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by the lovely Jess Girod, formerly from The Bachelor, now Bachelor in Paradise. Jess, it's been a long time coming. I feel like we have a lot to talk about. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Yes, I have a lot to catch up on.
Yes, we definitely do. I will say, when they presented us with people that are on Bachelor in Paradise that we would want to have on our show, you were at the top of our list. We were like, we want to have Jess on.
Yep.
So we're doing it. You're here. We have a ton to talk about Paradise, but I think first things first, we got to clear the air about reality Rhea over here.
We have to talk about the elephant in the room. It's been months now. I can't even believe it's in this same year that this happened.
Yeah.
But a little backstory for everybody, just in case nobody knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
When Jess was on Zach's season of The Bachelor, she had been sent home and the finale was coming around, and somebody messaged me, and this girl was so fucking confident in what she was telling me. And she was like, I have a spoiler. And, and I felt special. Like, I was like, I am the chosen one. She is telling me this spoiler. This girl was hell bent. Like, she was like, I am dead serious. I don't know what made me believe her, but I trusted her.
Well, you went back multiple times.
I went back and forth with her.
So many times you would be like, you know what, I'm messaging her again and I'm asking her.
I was like asking her all these questions to clarify, and it just seemed legit. And she told me that Zach ends up with nobody in the end, and that Zach leaves and goes and lives with Jess in the end. And trust me, I vetted her and it felt right. And now I ended up a clown and very stupid because I was wrong. But I had told, like, I was bursting with this rumor. I was like, you guys are not going to believe, like, this spoiler. And when I said it, I felt so bad immediately after, because I just didn't think about all the people that were going to, like, run to your comments, be like, oh my God, Jess, like, how could this happen, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, holy fuck, I feel so awful. Like, really, this was a baseless rumor that I was taking as a spoiler because it was so sold to me. And then that is not what happened whatsoever. No. And Jess, I sincerely apologize, and I have apologized to you already, but I would like to apologize again, because that was just straight up wrong of me. But it did include me dressing up as a clown in the end, which I think everybody
it was entertaining
enjoyed.
For all.
Yes. And I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It was funny. I remember being out and I had like friends texting me like, are you with Zach? And I was like, am I with Zach? Like, what are you like? Am I? No, I don't think so. And I think it was funny. I remember texting Katie being like, are you okay? Like, just making sure, like, and everyone thought it was funny and no hard feelings. I got a funny TikTok out of it. So thanks.
Yes, that did happen. What was your reaction like when you first heard that? Like, who is this crazy bitch? Like, why? How did she come up with this?
Honestly, like, I've always like listened to your guys' podcast, so I was first like, oh my God, she knows who I am. That's awesome. Like, that's cool. And then I just thought it was funny, and obviously I couldn't like spoil anything, so I couldn't really say, like, I couldn't decline it. But my only concern was making sure it didn't take away from Katie and her moment, and it didn't. And she thought it was funny, and so I just was like, whatever. And I had so many people asking. My mom was also like, "Are you sure, Jess?" And I'm like, I'm pretty positive. The man didn't even give me a date. Like, I'm positive.
Right. I know. I felt like such an asshole because I was like,
and they came in also.
Right. And I just became what I hated. Like what I hate. Like, I just it was really and I can't believe I believed it, and I hate that I believed it, and I got so mad at this girl that
we lost a follower.
We did.
Life.
We definitely lost a listener
for life,
because me and her had a back and forth where I was like, "You lied to me," and she was like, "I didn't know you were going to go this far with it," and I was like, "I told you I was," and it didn't end well between the two of us. So we all learned our lesson, and once again, I am sorry. But now you are on Paradise, and we want to get to know more about your journey on Paradise. How did you find out that you were going to be on, and what was that emotion like when you did find out?
Yeah, I remember getting off Bachelor and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing Paradise. I was like, just, it's not for me. And then I got a call and I was like, okay, maybe like I'll do it. It just switched quick. Like there really wasn't much of a thought process. I was like, I mean, it's in front of me, why not? And I don't normally date. I don't put myself out there. So it was kind of like, you know, out of my comfort zone and let me just challenge myself because I don't normally do that. And obviously it's not an environment for me that I would normally thrive in. So it was just like a, once in a lifetime opportunity, let me try and see if I can find myself a man or not. If anything, I grow. So
Yeah. Where do you live?
I'm in Orlando, Florida.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
So I guess we've been joking, and we do Cutting Stems, our after show, and we just kept saying, Jess has maybe she's been interested in other dates, but she hasn't wanted to go on them. She's with Blake, but what they have shown us is about zero Jess and Blake time. I don't know if we've even seen you guys like talk to each other. So I would love to know like what your initial meeting was like with Blake Moynes, because you guys have been paired up in the episodes that we've watched, but we haven't seen you together at all.
Yeah, there hasn't been much airtime with us, but I remember night one, everyone's mingling and talking, and I remembered seeing Blake, and I didn't even honestly like thought we would connect, but I was just talking to a producer and I was like, he's cute, like maybe I should. And I went and pulled him and we had a conversation and it lasted a really long time. I think they only showed us like him complimenting how I like laugh or something and that was it. But we had a really long conversation. It was really good. I'm super shaky when I meet people, and like he was the first time in all of Bachelor experience that I wasn't shaking, and I like walked away and I was like telling the girls, I was like, I wasn't shaking, and everyone was like freaking out. So I just like knew right away that Blake was someone that I could see myself connecting with in the first conversation.
How long were you guys actually there in Paradise?
I don't know if I'm able
Right,
to
you're
answer
not really.
that.
I don't really know if she's allowed to say how long they're there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But I mean, a good amount of time, like enough to where you can form like a connection in a relationship. You're with each other all day. From the moment you wake up, breakfast to dinner to all that. So you have a lot of time.
Who were the girls that you were closest with, and did you guys all kind of like chat before going, and you like have those friendships already?
Yeah. So I, going into it, was the closest with Kylie, Kat, and Mercedes. And we all kind of just had a little bit of like who we would hope to see there. We weren't really sure exactly. And, girl talk, just like what we were excited for, we were nervous for. And when I got there, like all the girls were super nice and I made a lot of great connections. Like Rachel and I got super close. So it was a really good experience overall.
When Tyler and Tanner came down on the beach, I had said, I was like, I don't know. I feel like Jess is not quite putting herself out there as much as maybe she wants to. These are two very handsome guys. Was part of you like, ooh, I would go on a date with one of these guys?
Yeah, definitely. My number one thing that I wanted for myself going to Paradise was to not close myself off, because I don't put myself out there. I wanted like my normal routine outside in the real world would just to be locked in tunnel vision with one person. So I wanted to get there and challenge myself and, date around. It's like what you're supposed to do. So I feel like I was very vocal about, up until this point, Blake and I being open. And if either of those guys asked me on a date, I would have said yes. But it didn't happen that way. But
what's something that shocked you?
Yeah. Mad at him.
What's something that shocked you the most about Paradise?
I think it was really refreshing to see how much time you really get with everyone. On Bachelor, like you only have such a small amount of time with the lead, and on Paradise, like you could talk to whoever you want. You have all day. That's not like really restricted. So the freedom of Paradise was really awesome. But on a way, it also was challenging because I'm a very like straightforward, like routine person. So when it's like up to me to make effort and moves, like that was a little scary. But I did also, on the contrary, really like that.
Yeah, because Obviously, you guys are on camera all during the day and whatnot. What happens like at night when everybody is going to bed? Do the girls and the guys just separate and it's just solo time?
You pretty much can like do whatever you want. Like I said, like you pretty much like you can there's like food you can eat and you can keep drinking or you can go to bed. And so it's up to you, like if you want to have any serious conversations, if you want to hang out, like you pretty much have that freedom to make that decision. There's no like set bedtime. I don't think.
What's the alcohol rule these days? Is it the same as it's always been, or has it changed a little?
I don't know what it normally would be for me. Like it's not really, I never really had anything because I don't really drink much. So I don't really know what the rules could be. But like for someone that is actively wanting to drink a lot, I think I was always on edge. So I wanted to be like somewhat sober, and all my bad moments, like I was not sober. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
it's changed year to year.
I don't know.
There's like a 2 drink.
They had it as a two drink an hour.
Yeah, I think it used to be like 2 drinks an hour, and then
I was just noticing that it felt like people were mentioning alcohol more than they have in past seasons. Like, oh, I want a shot or give me a glass of tequila, like other things where it felt like maybe people were grabbing for it a little bit more.
Were you excited to watch this season, and have you been keeping up week to week?
Yes, I have. Just even though like I know that I haven't had much airtime, it has been exciting to just like watch all my friends and like support them. And I always love watching the tweets. Like I think they're so funny. Even if they're like roasting me, I think it's funny. So I've been keeping up. And yeah, it's been nice.
Did Braden get into your glitter at some point last week? Because I feel like there was multiple scenes where his face was just covered in glitter. And I was like, whose chest is he rubbing up to? His face is covered in glitter.
I know. Every time I watch these episodes and I see the guys have glitter like all over them, I'm like, people are going to think that I was just like all over these guys.
You're the glitter bandit.
Yes.
Literally. But honestly, I noticed that I have no idea how Braden had that much. I know. So when I walked in day one, I had a jar of glitter. And I like used that as my like prop thing. And that was sitting on the bar pretty much all of Paradise. So I think maybe he
dipped in,
kept playing with it. I don't know. All the girls wore glitter every night. So all the guys, like if they were shirtless, there was always glitter on their chest from like their respective girl, not me. But so yeah, everyone's glitterified.
Yeah, there was enough glitter to go around.
I will say, I feel like most of the girls, I feel like have had glitter on as well. was that their choice, or were they like, oh, Jess, you brought the glitter, like let's all get in on it?
Yeah. So it's funny because on Bachelor, like, I think I got 50-50 on like hate and love from it. And so when I went into Paradise, like I brought it, just because I had to, but I was going to lay off because I kind of got defeated by it.
Yeah.
And I remembered like first night, all the girls were like, Jess, like we all want to wear it. Like they wanted to wear it. And I was like, wait, really? And so like we just kept wearing it every night and they made me like it again. And I thought it was like really sweet. And I feel like it's a good way to show everyone, like the viewers, that like we're all friends, like regardless of all the drama you see, like we're all like friends to each other.
Hey, I love some glitter. I feel like it really elevates, like a going out outfit, and you're showing skin. You gotta put some nice glitter on.
Absolutely, I agree.
Fun.
Yeah. So we know that you are a huge Swiftie, huge Taylor Swift fan.
Mm-hmm.
We obviously have to get your thoughts on the new relationship.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
When the rumors first came out, I remember texting my friends and no one believed it. And I was like, guys, like, this is beautiful. Like, this is a love story. Like, they are going to, like, solve all the problems in the world by being together. So I'm excited. And I saw a picture, I think, this weekend of her, like, kissing his cheek.
Yeah.
So cute. So I'm just happy for her. And, yeah. I like it.
It's a good pairing for sure. Now, Sean came down onto the beach and he's mentioned multiple times that he's also a Swiftie and that would be something that you guys had in common. Now, watching it back and seeing what he has said in like his confessionals and his interviews. Did you know he felt that way when you were on the beach? I know he did approach you last week, like, hey, is there something there? But did you really know like how much he was talking about you? Because it was a lot.
Yeah.
Well, when I was watching it back, the part of him singing to me, I thought was so sweet. I've never had a guy like sing a song to me before, so I thought that I wish he sang it to me in person. Knowing me, I probably would have been like, I probably wouldn't know what to say, and I probably would have a weird face. But like watching it, I thought it was sweet. I had an idea that he was interested, but I thought it kind of fizzled away since like time had passed, and I thought maybe his relationship with Rachel was forming a little bit stronger. When he pulled me, like by no means was I upset by it. I thought like, you know, he had the right to have that conversation, and I didn't blame him for it. But I wanted to like approach it in a way that wasn't going to hurt his feelings, but also give him like that closure. But I did have an idea. I just didn't know to the length of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Watching it back, did you feel like Braden kind of saw an opening there and jumped when Braden went to talk to Rachel about it?
I think that's such an interesting situation. I think Braden definitely, I think in his perspective, he wasn't really doing any harm. Like he's looking out for Rachel. But I could see how in Sean's perspective, it just like completely ruined like any chance. So I feel like at the end of the day, it should have been Rachel's decision without any like factors involved, maybe.
Right. Yeah, no, that's very true. You said that you are good friends with Kat, and we've seen that, you know, we've seen you guys on social media and everybody hanging out and stuff. Kat is one of my favorites because I just think, as Lisa comes across on the show, that, you know, one little thing can totally set her off. How did you guys as her friends like try and maybe rein her back in some of these situations?
Kat is a very funny person, and you know, she's a good friend of mine, and it does suck to see her receive backlash because she's not a bad person at all, and she has a very outgoing and unapologetic personality, which is great. And there were moments where like Kylie and I wanted to just sit her down and let her know, like, more of like give her make her more aware of what was going on versus telling her what was right or wrong, because it wasn't our place to tell her that. We're not in those conversations. We don't see everything. So it's just to let her know. But like this last episode, like her screaming and like the interviews, like I was cracking up watching it because like we're on the phone and she's like screaming and I'm like, Kat, like I'm gonna hang up. Like you need to like lower the volume. And like she texted me when it was airing and she was like, I thought of you because like you always complain about my yelling. So it's just like, it's like funny. And I think it's like not harmful and, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's what I've been saying too, talking about it. I'm like, we honestly need somebody like her on the show too. But it's just, it can be entertaining. I think like the only thing from a viewer's perspective watching it, I was like, I just wish that when she did kind of like go with Tanner and like be like, it's over with Braden, to just be like, yeah, you know, it happened fast. Like just, it's just the way it is. Like I like Tanner more than Braden. And that's, you know, I feel like it's hard when you sort of dance around like, oh no, I was already feeling like this was kind of fizzling out and, you know, because nobody's going to blame you. It's a show where you date multiple people. If you're just like, look, I went on a date with somebody else, I like him more. Like that's it. Like it's just like, you can't really argue with that.
How it goes, right?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like also Kat and Braden were the first couple to like dive in super fast and then the first couple to break it off. So I feel like everyone's reactions were spiked due to the fact that it was like the first time it was happening on the beach. And you know, there's definitely moments in that conversation that Kat can grow from and learn from, and you know, probably the same for Braden, and moments that we didn't see. But I think, yeah, I agree that, you know, take ownership of it and just like, you know, whatever, like you're happy with someone new, but it's just in that environment, like things are heightened and it's like everyone is sensitive and gets hurt, and I'm guilty of that too. So
definitely.
When you said that, you know, before you went into this, obviously you had a group of friends and you guys were friendly going into it. Did you guys have any conversations before going to Paradise? Like, hey, you know, if we end up liking the same guy, like boundaries and how to navigate that, because you're all going to the same place, all the same guys are going to be there, and you can't necessarily fault somebody for maybe liking somebody and then switching, and just how we mentioned between Kat and Braden.
Yeah, no, definitely. We all went into this, like, had a discussion of like who we were hoping to see. And, you know, a lot of us had, you know, mutuals that we would name. So I went into it with the possibility knowing that, you know, Tanner might be with Kat or any other guy that I was interested. Like it was something that I was aware of and I had no issue with. I think at the end of the day, it's just a matter of like putting friends first and checking in, making sure everyone's good. And if anyone wants to pursue someone, they can. But I think for the most part, like that was never really an issue just because like we all kind of already had an idea.
So we've watched 4 weeks now. What couples that are together or separated at this point, like at this point, who were you kind of surprised ended up together, and who were you like, yeah, saw that one coming?
Okay, so at this point it's John Henry and Olivia. I was surprised by that one. Okay. And in the next episode they gave a preview of like Braden and Rachel, and like that was like something I was also surprised for and
same
enjoyed. But it's so like, you know, stay tuned to see how that turns out. But they're like, I feel like in general, like everyone was kind of a surprise. Everyone's kind of like mingling, but once the couple forms and spends time together and you're like watching them, you're like, wait, I kind of see it. Because even at one point, like Kat and Braden, I was like, what the heck? Like I never thought Kat would go after someone younger. So I was like, that's crazy. And then like seeing them like hang out in the pool, like making out, and I'm like, oh wow, they like have really good chemistry.
Right. Once you see the chemistry, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
And honestly, like maybe even me and Blake, like I didn't see that coming either.
Yeah, so super fair. And then what was one that everyone was kind of like, that makes sense?
Kylie and Nathan.
Yeah. I was gonna say that had to have been the one, and obviously it was probably the most like, hyped up one.
They never talked before or anything, and like I know she talked about like him like doing the fire emoji, but they just look like an aesthetically pleasing couple.
Totally.
Like we all were like, oh, like Kylie, that's gonna be who you're with. Like there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that one makes a lot of sense. So we've already joked, you know, you haven't really gotten that much airtime. Can you give us a hint? Like, do you think you'll be shown more? Like,
I don't know.
Like, do you maybe some? I don't know. Do you if there's like any Jess drama perhaps?
I'm gonna be honest. I like the comfortableness of not being aired, so I'm not complaining. I'm just there, but
you're not like, please show me.
Yeah.
No, I'm good where I'm at, but yeah. I mean, I will have some moments that may not be my best and may not be my worst. So, I mean, I hope they don't air it. I don't know. So we'll see.
Well, hey, that's all you can ask for.
Totally.
Not your best, but not your worst, right? Right down the middle.
Yeah. I shouldn't be recorded when there's wine in me, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah, well, I think everyone's probably feels that way sometimes. You mentioned, you know, Blake was a very like calming presence during these last few weeks when you guys are hanging out. What are you talking about? What are you doing? I'm just like, I'm so intrigued by the two of you as a pairing, and every episode I watch, I'm like, give us at least one conversation. Like I would love to know how this is going.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it would be nice to see like more couples. I feel like we haven't really seen a lot of connection so far. Blake and I, like, we were kind of like goofy, like never took each other seriously. I think he made it a goal to make sure I was always comfortable. So we had a lot of funny conversations, and, you know, we would like nap together, we'd hang out together, we'd eat together. He's a funny guy, and he would make fun of me. I make fun of him. And I think the most part, we had very serious conversations, but it was a lot of lighthearted ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He's
Blake's a great guy.
We big fans, big fans of Blake Moes
and his mom. Like that was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We know from the trailer, and I'm sure there's obviously not much you can say about this, but maybe a small hint that there is a Katie Thurston appearance on the beach. Is that maybe where your best or not worst had come through?
Yeah, so Katie comes down, and I think it just was a surprise for both Blake and I. Like I think neither of us expected that happening. So I can't say if it was my worst. I can't say if it was my best.
But
Maybe
something happens.
I don't know.
But something definitely happens. Well, what was, I guess, Rhea kind of asked this too with like surprises with Paradise, but everyone jokes about like the air conditioning and the bed setup and all these things. Like, how did all the ladies handle the living environments?
Yeah, Paradise is just hot, and it's you're literally living like you're on a beach like for the whole time. So for me personally, like I was so tired every night. I knocked out like regardless of any condition that we were in. But I think the funniest thing the funniest story I have, like we had something called monkey bears. I don't know what they were actually called, but it's like some small animal that would like run around at night. And every night I'd be so terrified because the doors would be open, that it would run in the room.
Yeah, no.
And
that is scary.
Scary. I remember in the middle of the night, one of the girls kicked their fan on my head, and it like hit my head. And I like woke up freaking out because I thought it was a monkey bear, but it was a fan, and everyone was dead asleep, so I couldn't yell at anybody. So it was like, I was like, whatever. But I think to me, like the only condition I had a problem with were just freaking out if a monkey bear was gonna like attack me or something.
Yeah, I would
Also
not be
good
able
to know
deal
that
with
you can
the
bring
animals.
fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a plus.
That
I would
sounds
have
like a
that
huge
thing
plus.
positioned right in my face,
Right.
which is where I imagine everybody would just put that right there. Well, Jess, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Yes,
this was
thank
great.
you so much.
We're glad, kumbaya, we're all back together.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
It has. And we've wanted you to come on even after the whole Zach scenario went down. And of course, all the rules and whatnot of how this stuff has to go.
It was a nice lesson to not believe everything people say.
Yep. Ain't that the truth?
It was funny. It was funny.
Ain't that the truth? Well, we're excited to watch the rest. I know that, you're hoping to cruise through it, but, for the sake of the rest of the viewers, like, I would love to see what goes down. So
Right. We need a little something.
we will be, of course, tuning in on Thursday nights and watching the rest of the season. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you, Jess.
That is so sweet. Thank you.